Okay, so good morning everybody, how you going? Thanks for joining me again today, and before we kick off, I want to announce the winner of our little competition on the channel to win a couple of brushes. Okay, the Neo Sable brushes from Pentel. We had 12 entrants on the video who commented about their favorite character, and I put those into the random.org generator, and the winner was Dan Buman. So Dan, I'm really happy to be able to send these to you, and I hope you can enjoy using these, mate, and please give us your feedback. Of course, I'll be running this competition every now and again. I don't mind doing that for you guys. So that's my little, way of showing my appreciation for your support and that kind of thing as I make these videos. So yeah, hang in there, keep coming along and entering the competitions as they come up, and who knows, you could be winning a set of these. I did say I was going to send out one, but I thought I'll send out the set. So you got the number 6 and the size 0 as well. Yeah, so size 6 and size 0. They're the two brushes I use in my videos as well. I've actually just cracked open 2 new ones because the other ones are sort of wearing a bit thin now, and the hairs are sort of splitting, or the tips are curling, which is something that you're going to have to just put up with using synthetic brushes. But they're so good, and they're for the value, I think they're absolutely brilliant. I've painted so many miniatures with them now. So yes, so I hope you enjoy those, Dan. So the next competition will be coming up soon, I hope, and if it's not for some brushes, maybe it'll be for something else. But of course, I have to talk to Dan as well after getting his address, or an address I can send it to. That I don't know the status of international shipping at the moment, so I have no idea when I can send it, or if I'm able to send it at this time. But that's something I can talk to Dan about later, and we'll see what we can do. Otherwise, I'll just keep it here in the padded envelope, addressed to him, and when the shipping, finally opens up, maybe we should wait just a little bit longer, just to make sure it's not going too crazy with people's, backlog of international mail piling up, and then send it then at a better time. So we'll see, but I'll just keep it here for you, mate. Right, now cracking on with our high elf. The high elf video is actually quite popular, so maybe people are interested in high elves more than orcs, I don't know, but yeah, the viewing certainly got higher in the last video, so thanks for that. Alright, so using our new brushes, I'm going to now do the male. So the male was first done in this dark sea green, or dark grey green, whatever it's called, paint. I don't know what the names are now. It's basically just a dark grey, it's a dark sea green. Then the mid-tone was a nat neutral grey, and the highlight was a blue grey pale. Which, if you can see, that's the darker one. This is like the mid-tone one, and there's a lighter one. Okay, so I think for these scales, just with putting some of that mid-tone colour my brush, I'm just gonna just drag the brush down across those scales like that. It's not really a dry brush, the brush is relatively wet. I'm not wiping any excess off. And I'll just do that a couple of times. Along all the parts there. So I hope everybody's safe and well wherever you are around the world, and I had the unpleasant experience of shopping at my local supermarket just before. Now we're in the holiday period here in Japan. It's the Golden Week holiday, so everybody's out and about, so it was not good. So I just quickly dashed in to get my tea. I can't live without tea, black tea. I don't know how you guys are with tea or coffee or things like that, but yeah, they're an essential item for me, so I had to dash in to get those. get a box of tea this morning for breakfast. Okay, now I'll just jump straight into that lighter grey, blue-grey pale. I think I got that right this time. And again, same thing. Beautifully finely detailed armour. Jez is designed here, so. I'll have to paint one of the plastic ones up to compare with the metal ones. Maybe I'm spoiling myself now with these metal miniatures. I know that I'll want more of them. And thanks for the comments, guys. I think Pedro asked this morning about the brushes, so I gave him the details about the brushes and to, watch out for the next competition giveaway in the future. And in honesty, I think I might just wait until the whole international shipping thing is cleared up. I didn't really think about that initially when I first announced that competition. I think it's better just for everybody that we just wait until everything's back to normal again, and then we can go from there. I think maybe that'd be much better. Now I've got some of this other pale blue. I'll mix in that pale blue grey. And again, just very lightly. Now you can sort of see the scales picking up a lot more now. So for this kind of armour, it's going to be a lot quicker to do. I mean, if I had that just all as plate mail, it would take a lot longer. So that's one saving grace for the high elves. With this kind of armour, it's be easy to paint, large numbers of them if they have all this sort of style armour. Other news is that me and Justin are going to begin recording the podcast, like our segment of it anyway, today. Now that he's started his holidays and my son's at school, I've got some time to do that today. So we'll record our intro, and then I'll have the interview with Dave, I think on Sunday morning. And then hopefully I'll have the podcast up on Monday or Sunday night or whatever. That's my Sunday, so it'll be your Saturday, I'd say. Depending on where you are, I always say your day before or 14 hours before or whatever it might be. But if you're in Australia, well, there's something an hour difference. Okay, now I might just use just that pale blue grey or pale blue. I suppose the equivalent to that colour would be like a Space Wolf grey, or Space Wolf grey, the darker one. There was two greys. I can't remember, Wolf grey or something like that. I'll have to find a chart with all those paint names on there again. And then, well, the Vallejo game colour, they have the equivalent paints for the Citadel range. They're just they're just worded and named differently. Except for Goblin Green, they could use that name, but I think a lot of the other names were sort of maybe trademarked or something like that, or whatever, I don't know, but yeah, they couldn't use them. But I think my game color range will definitely have to expand in the future too, because I want more of those more satin type finished, like satin finished paints rather than the really matte ones, like the model color, like really matte. And the scale 75 ones are quite matte too, but they've got some nice interesting colors that I can't get in other ranges. But yeah, I think definitely the game color range I'll have to invest a few more dollars in over time, every time I make a paint order. Now, if you're in Japan and you're wondering where to get the Vallejo range of paints, well, the Volks store in Akihabara, the distributor, I think for Asia. So I've been to their store in person, and they carry every single product Vallejo make. It's an awesome place. I could almost live there. And yeah, they carry a whole heap of stuff. So they carry the entire Vallejo range. So even if you're traveling to Japan for a holiday, no doubt you'll probably go to Akihabara when the coronavirus situation's all done and finished and dusted. But yeah, if you're in Japan, that's where you need to go if you want to get some hobby supplies. Volks, Volks. Okay, now I think that's looking okay. We might have to do a final highlight at later stages. Missed it here. But so far I'm happy with that. I might have to go over with a bit of white or something, I think, later. But yeah, like yesterday, we had that Caspian blue I was using. You don't have to use exactly this colour. You can find another blue in your range of colours you have there for that. I just sort of irregularly paint patches of that blue on that armour. So it's not really a wash, it's just sort of like spot washing, maybe. So it's got a tint of that blue in there. It's almost like a greenish blue, isn't it? That Caspian blue. It's not a true blue, but yeah. I like it. It suits him, actually. Okay, so while that's drying, we can maybe go into the spear. Now, there's a bit of a nick here. You might see it in the video. There's something I missed on the model. Which I'm wondering now, should I just go and try to correct that now? It might be a good idea to do it so that you can see if this happens to you and you find some kind of bit of flash or something on your model that you want to remove. You don't have to strip it all back. Looking at it, it looks like it's a dent. It's not like an actual tag of, oh, maybe it is. But the way I would do that is just taking a sharp knife and just trying to remove that tag of metal on the area. Just trying to flatten it out, make sure it's all smooth out. Yep, looks okay. I've got all my my hobby tools underneath this table here, so I've got easy access to all my stuff if I need it. And basically I'm just going to go straight out with red. Okay, now some people would like to put maybe a primer down there. I'm going to varnish these miniatures afterwards and I'm quite confident that will be fine. I've done it on several miniatures already over years, so I've had no problems with it. Yeah, you could brush on some varnish, brush on some primer if you really wanted to. I don't think it's really necessary. Now, let's grab some yellow. Grab some of that red and mix some yellow into it. Now, it might have been Blood Angel Orange, wasn't it? Blood Angel Orange. It was like the real orangey red that they had in the set all the paints. I don't think I ever had that colour. I'm not sure. But yeah, especially of this era, they had the reds were like really orangey. Not for everything, but from my memory of it, yeah, everything had a lot of yellow in it. My painting desk is so crammed full of orcs and goblins now, it's just ridiculous. I can't even put my elbows anywhere, almost now. I've got so much stuff, so I'm really trying to get through that. The whole rebasing project, the whole repainting stuff. The Black Orcs are just taking a lot longer than I thought they would. I've rebased my entire Night Goblin regiment now, as of yesterday. And they've got their sand drying on their bases. And I was lucky actually, because in Japan, in the local art shop, they have like a little railway section for model railways, and they sell this sand. I'll show you. And it's just luckily that you can get them all different colours, and they had it in this green colour. Yeah, so I thought, oh, that's cool. I can just put that on the bases, and because it's not like a natural coloured sand, it's green already. So when I put the paint over, I can only do it. I can just need to do it once. Just give it one coat, and that's it. That's all it needs, because everything else is green, and it sort of blends in beautifully. So yeah, that worked out really well. So that's what I use for my sand now. It's really fine too. So I wouldn't, like, I tried doing it initially with just dry brushing over the top, but it just didn't look very good. And you want the paint to seal down the sand too, if you wanted to go back to doing that sort of sand method of basing. Some people put like watered down PBO over the top. I don't think that's really all that necessary. If once it's all dried, just paint over the top of it Goblin Green, and that's enough. Like, you don't need to go to severe, extremes with that extra step. But if you really wanted to do it, you could do it that way. But I've had no problems at all, no issues at all with the flock coming off at all. Okay, so I've given it a couple of coats of that, so with the red and the yellow mixed together to make that sort of orangey mix. I suppose you could use orange if you had an orange that would be suitable for it. That'll be fine too. And just using my number 1 brush, I'm just using some of that. That's not beige. This is beige. Beige with that. The beige and the flesh colour are quite close. So yeah, I'm using my new brushes today, and they're really nice. Luckily, I've got access to these brushes in several stores here, because it's just in like regular hardware stores they carry them, in like the stationery section. So I think I'll just do that for the spear shafts. I think that's fine. Now, if I was going to do white, I would take this really light blue colour. So no, this is going to be white. And give that a base coat of that light blue here. Yeah, I was thinking about what I actually had back in my original army. I know I had all the plastics from the box set. I had about 16 sword masters. They're the Marauder ones that they produced. I think they were the only ones you could get actually. What else did I have? Elthari on the Griffin. 2 bolt throwers. And I think that was it. I think that's all I had. Oh, Teclis, of course. I didn't have any cavalry. Don't know why. I think I bought them at that really late stage, and by that time, I think I'd foolishly sold them off. So I think I had all the silver helms and the dragon princes. Just putting a base coat of that, like a light brown snake bite leather brown on the pouch here. Yeah, but I think that's all the models I had back in the day. Should we make this scabbard red as well? I think they had a lot of red on it, didn't they? I should really have pulled a picture up of these guys before I started doing it. That would have been very helpful, Josh. Why didn't you do that? In fact, if you give me 2 seconds, I'm just going to grab the book. The high elf book is just behind me. So I just want to double check those colours just to make sure I'm doing it correctly, like to the Codex Studio paint job. And before I do that, I was going to just grab some of this other, like a darker grey, and I'm just going to go underneath here, just so we've got that part painted anyway, before we go any further. I think the sleeves will have to be in white as well. So just give me 2 seconds, I'm just going to grab the book. So I've just got some kind of reference in front of me. I should have grabbed it earlier, sorry about that. Here we go. It's the 4th edition book, as we all know and love. Nice Dave Gallagher, or Jeff Gallagher artwork. Who am I thinking about? Dave Gallagher. I keep getting his name mixed up all the time. So let's have a look. There we go. Yeah, so I'm right. So they did have like some red, the red scabbards, the spears in red, the tassels are in yellow. He doesn't have a tassel on this one. Okay, they got it in green. He's like his sash headband on that model, but I'm not sure if I want to go green. He's got red, okay, red sort of trims on there, yellow on the sleeves, black boots, blonde hair, of course. Yeah. Okay, so that gives me more of a. Okay, so it's red. Okay. So that waistband that he's got on there is red. So there you go. Cool. Okay. Now, so knowing that, I'm just going to go. I'm not too worried about covering everything else. Just for the sake of speed, I just want to get down a base coat there. Yeah, he's got that trim running around his armour too, that's going to be red as well. That's fine. Now the headband, I'd like that in blue or something. I thought green was a strange colour that they use for that, but yeah, I think I might do that in blue. I'm just going to do a bit of lining in. I find it easier to do it before painting on the colours. I think when I first started painting, I did it after, from memory. You know, I paint something on an area, then I'd go in afterwards and line in afterwards. But I find it, if you can outline it first, it's maybe a bit easier. But yeah, I think that's all I had. So now I've got, currently, in my high elf stash, you know, I've got at least 20 spearmen and 20 archers. I've got Teclis Tyrion. On hand, I've got 4 silver helms, but some more will be coming. I think all together with Tyrion and the mage, mounted mage, I'll have a unit of 10 of those guys all up together. I'm just looking for the champion now for that unit. I've got 8 Shadow Warriors, thanks to my mate Stephen in Scotland. We did a trade on those. So I'm just looking for 2 more of those. I think I just rounded up to 10. I've got currently 2 bolt throwers, but maybe a 3rd one if Jesse gives me the other one. And that's plenty. I think 3 will be more than enough. I don't have any of the big monsters yet. I don't have Eltharion. I don't have the Pegasus Hero. I don't have Prince Imric. So those models will have to come later, at a later stage, when they become available, or I can trade them for something else or whatever down the track. I don't really need them now, sort of thing. You know, I'd want to leave those just you know, a bit later. Just I want to get like the groundwork covered and get some of the actual units done. Initially, what I wanted to do was to recreate that White Dwarf battle, and in that there were a unit of spearmen, a unit of archers. So two units of spearmen, sorry, 2 units of spearmen, 2 units of archers. Unit of 5 silver helms. They had the Marauder High Elf Mage on a unicorn. And I think that was all for the High Elves. And the Goblins, I think they had like 3 units of 16 Night Goblins. They had 3 Fanatics, 2 giant spiders with a Shaman, and I think they're Warlord on one of them. Those models I still need to try to track down somewhere. What else? I think that was all. Oh no, then they had like the plastic spearmen and plastic archers, I think, as well, in that army. Yeah, I think the High Elves came to like 1,600 points or something like that. And, or no, they were like maybe 1,000 points or something. I can't remember. I'll have to look in the book. It's in this book, actually, where all that battle report is. But yeah, the points were quite strange. Like, I don't know whether it was just like a random points they just came to in the beginning and said, okay, well, this is all we've got painted in the studio and that's what we're going to use, and, you know, tough luck if you don't like it, kind of thing. Or it was like a predetermined amount. I don't think so. It looks, because the point value looks quite strange, like, so I'm guessing it's more a case of what they had available at the time, because that was like really early on. That was well, the Orc Goblin book had already been produced by then, I think. Pretty sure it was, because I think the Empire book came out first, and then the Orc Goblin book came out, then the High Elf book, then Dwarves, I think, came after them. Okay, so we've got most of it lined in now. Just checking. I'll go back. done as well. Yeah, so this time around I'm going to try to get some other units that I never had. The Phoenix Guard for one, I like the models and I think they'll be a nice looking unit. The White Lions I've never been so keen on as models are, but yeah, if they become available I'll probably get a few of those, like 20 of those or 16 of those just to have them. Yeah, and the characters of course. And the Swords Masters I still need. And the cavalry is probably the most, probably the highlight of the army for me anyway. Just love the cavalry models, they're beautiful. Especially the silver helms are just incredibly good. So they'll definitely be featured at some point. I do have them here, so who knows, maybe today I might knock one up, just prime it and paint it, why not? Let's do it, I think it will certainly kickstart my interest in high elves a bit more, and I can see them sort of just slowly growing when I start painting the models up. So yeah, why not? But you guys got to tell me what you want to see. Like, if there's anything you want me to paint or go over, let me know. I've still got some other models here that I'll preview in a minute before we finish the video. Just mixing some yellow into that and some beige to do some highlights there. Yeah, I've got some other models I want to preview to show you before we finish today. It's only going to be a short video today because I've got that army, that old army stuff. I haven't even finished. I haven't painted anything yesterday. I was so engrossed in my Orc and Goblin stuff that I just didn't get around to doing it. So today I need to make time to finish those off and get my my post uploaded to say, yes, I've done something this month and just made it. And Jesse will be happy to see those, I'm sure. That'll be all the Chaos Warriors done. Just highlighting the top of that band, that red band, waistband he's got there. I've of course got to do the shield for this guy too. I think I will use the 4th ed plastic shields because they came with blank shields, I think, when you bought them originally. But I could use a blank shield too, I suppose, and just do the freehand on the shield, or just use the embossed ones. I think I'll use the embossed ones, I'd say. Just to keep it all uniformed and yeah, he's got these really small oval shaped markings in here. Really small actually. They're going to be white going by the picture. So, and the gemstone, maybe that will be nice and green, I think. Okay. I'll take some of that light blue, light grey blue. Just going to mark in the places where those little oval shaped details are. Yeah, but I'm hanging out for a game. Jesus, I looked at the videos. It's been 4 months since we last played a game. And to be honest, I don't know when we can safely get together and have a game again. So, but looking at the positives of that, we'll have a podcast up and running. We'll have more painted models to show when we get together again, either me and Justin or one of the other guys. This green here, this is the heavy green, using as a base for this. And you know, hopefully we can do it here in this in my studio here. It'd be better for the sound. I think we won't have a lot of other people talking and laughing and carrying on behind us. That's if people, you know, don't mind coming all this way to my place to do it, to film it. And that way, you know, I could produce maybe, you know, we could have 3 games on the day. And yeah, that'll give enough content for a while. Like small games, you know, like, you know, 1,000 or 1,500 point games, maybe 2,000 max probably, I'd say. Just putting in that sunny skin tone. I think the elfin flesh is quite bright and light, very pale. So just carefully put that into the line that in there as well, best as I can. So yeah, we've got big plans. I've got big plans also for what I want to do. Like terrain wise, and today I need to do some priming on some of those buildings that I made, so we can actually start painting them. I bought some storage containers to house all the terrain and all my materials and everything like that the other day. So yeah, I'm sort of really committed into making more terrain and getting stuck into that. And having like the full complement of terrain, like rivers and swamps and marshes and all those things that are on the terrain generator, that I can cover everything. Having a little sort of village and town and that kind of stuff, walls and fences, they still need to be made. But yeah, enjoying it, really enjoying getting back into terrain making. More than I thought I would. In fact, that was all I do. That's all I did for like 2 weeks straight. Didn't touch a model. That's why I'm really behind on this challenge at the moment, because between that and the goblins, the orcs, I've just got nothing finished. So just carefully lining in all the red, just straight over the black. You could, you know, if you wanted to, you could go over the black in that beige or white or something like that, or yellow, or not a yellow, but like even that sunny skin tone, if you wanted to, as like a base before going over the red. I'm just being lazy and just going over the red straight off and then highlighting it after that. Yeah, this has been, what, over 20, well, since the box set was released that I've painted a High Elf. This is the first time since then. And I've got to admit, I'm not really looking forward to painting 40 of these guys or more, but I will try to enjoy it. I'm enjoying this and enjoying doing this anyway, so. But the rank and file stuff is always hard, you know, depending what army it is, but yeah, it's probably the least pleasurable thing about doing Warhammer is doing all those rank and file guys, but at the end, you know, you'll be happy with the results if the more time you put into it, the more happy you'll be. I'm just one of those crazy bastards who want to repaint stuff, as I'm doing now with my my Black Orcs. The other stuff I'm not repainting, I'm just rebasing the goblins and that kind of thing. They don't need to be repainted, they're fine. I might just touch them up in little places here and there, if need be, because they are really old. You know, I painted them when the 5th edition was around, so. You can hear that chime in the background, that just tells us it's 11:30. So that's probably a good time for me to almost finish up today and get some other stuff done. But before I do, I was going to get that light blue-grey and some white. And just going over the raised areas there on his cloak. I won't say dress. And yeah, been binge watching the is it Last Kingdom? I think that's what it's called. It's the Viking show on Netflix. They've got the 3rd series out now, but I've gone back to the start and watched it from season 1 again, and just because I've got the time to watch it, and yeah, really enjoying it. So if you want something good to watch that's sort of in a kind of fantasy theme, but even though it's historically based, but the music's really cool. It's got like this really great sort of Scandinavian type music playing in the background, and the characters are quite nice, and the scenery is like very medieval and dark age. And the battles are quite cool, all the shield wall battles and that kind of thing. Yeah, I actually prefer it more than Vikings. I haven't watched Vikings for ages now. I have no idea what season they're up to, or who's died and who's still in it, or whatever. Now, I'll get more of that yellow. And another green, I think we'll use Park Green. Got some green ink here too. Never been really happy with greens, the greens that I've got. I've just never really been happy with, oh, that was silly of me. Yeah, never been happy with the greens that I have, the colours that I've got, so. But that's sort of, the most vibrant green I have. I've got jade green, but I think jade green doesn't really look like the original greens they used. So trying to get the colours looking fairly similar. I just contaminated with some red before, but just found a little clean spot here that I can use. I only need a smidgen of it. gemstone. So yeah, just going lighter down the bottom. Add some more yellow in there. Here's some ink that I had. That's really nice for doing gemstones. Just to glaze it and make it a little bit more shiny. Just taking some black. Going around the top there. And just putting that into the ink a little bit. I'll just let that dry. Now those boots, I'll just use that same blue I used for the armour, and yeah, just going over. Oh, they've got a public announcement now. So I'm going to have to finish up here, guys, otherwise it's going to be like way too distracting to listen to. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in another one. I'll probably try to do one this afternoon, maybe sometime, and try to finish this guy off for you. Okay, so as I've got today off. So I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Okay, see you next time.